Okay, so today's session is all about understanding your industry, essentially. So what we want to sort of run through with you is the sorts of skills that you need to think about developing whilst you're out on placement, the sorts of job roles that you can go into based on the degree that you're studying, and the sorts of skills that you would need to sort of develop and be successful in your chosen career. So there's two things we're going to sort of go through today. One is to identify the key skills that you can develop whilst on placement, and the second one is to understand your sector and the opportunities that will be available to you for your placement module. Before I do that, I just wanted to remind you of some key placement information. Okay, so you have two options for your placement. You can either do a full-time placement during the placement block, which will be the 17th of April until the 19th of May. Your calendars have all been cleared, so you will not have any lectures, exams, deadlines, assignments due in, nothing. You are free to complete a placement on a full-time basis. If that does not work for you because you have children, you're a carer, you've got a part-time job, whatever it might be, then you should think about doing what we're calling the flexible placement. The flexible placement can start as soon as possible, as long as you have completed all of the relevant documents for your placement. And you can start it literally now, but no later than the 27th of February. The reason why we say no later than the 27th of February is because that will give you enough time to make sure that you complete your minimum requirement of hours. If you are going to be doing more than 1 day a week, for argument's sake, you're going to be doing 2 or 3, and then you can obviously start after the 27th of February. Just please do make sure that you're going to get your hours in. If you're going to be doing the placement block, you need to make sure that you have submitted your details by the 3rd of March at the very latest. We need to know what you are doing. We need to know that you've secured a placement and that you know where you're going. So you need to have your placement details submitted by the 3rd of March. I am your placement officer. You should hopefully know that by now. If you need any additional support, then my drop-in sessions are every Tuesday, 1 till 2 in the atrium. As soon as you walk through the main doors, as though you're looking at Starbucks straight ahead, I'll be on your left-hand side for an hour. You don't need to book on. Just turn up if you've got any questions or anything like that. If you would prefer a one-to-one appointment because you've got really specific questions or there's something that you want to discuss with me that you don't want to discuss in a public area or in front of other people, I run one-to-ones every Thursday from 11 a.m. till 1 p.m. They're 15-minute slots and you can book these via My Career, and you can either do it online or we can do it on campus, whatever suits you better. Also on a Wednesday and Thursday, we have a CV interview and application help desk. So if you want some help on your CV, you want me to have a look at it, you want me to make sure it's suitable for a certain placement or certain job role. If you've got an interview coming up and you want some help or practice, or if you've got any application forms that need completing, including the one that's on My Career, I will run through that in my next session, but there are 3 questions for every placement that you apply to on My Career. But like I said, I do cover those 3 questions in my next session and how to answer those. But if you see something on there now and you want some help straight away, please do attend one of these sessions, whether it's the drop-in, the one-to-one, or the CV and interview help desk. If you have any general queries, so for example, something about your placement allowance, you can't get onto My Career, you can't complete your pathway, those sorts of queries, you just need to email placements@Leeds Trinity, and somebody will come back to you as soon as possible to help you with that query. We are based in AG12 on campus. There is loads of information in the window, so there's QR codes for the Moodle page, for the placement allowance, all that sort of stuff. And there's information of when all of the drop-in sessions are. But this is a back office, so we don't really recommend that you come and knock on the door to ask any queries, because what will happen is you'll just be told to book an appointment via My Career. So you might as well just go ahead and get that booked on straight away. Excuse me. If you're not already, and you do have any of the following social media accounts, feel free to follow the Instagram or the Facebook. We do upload information on there, such as deadlines, events, career opportunities, part-time jobs, placement opportunities. So it's just another place just for you to follow, just in case you're on social media and you just want an extra space where you can get updated information from us and from the placements team. So 5 things that you all need to be doing is you need to be, hopefully you will have done already, but start thinking about what it is that you want to do. I obviously asked the question at the beginning, what are you interested in? And a lot of you do already know exactly what it is that you would like to do, which is perfect. If you don't know what to do, that's when you need to be booking an appointment. If you have no idea where you want to go, what you want to do, and who you want to do it with, you need to be coming and speaking to me so I can help you, give you some advice, give you some support, and hopefully find you something that you're going to be happy with. You need to start identifying the key skills within your sector. I will go through it in a lot more detail in the presentation, but start identifying the skills that the employers that you're interested in working with are looking for, because those are the skills that you need to be thinking about developing on your placement so that you can get them on your CV. Access prospects.ac.uk. So make sure that you go onto this website. I have got on the next slide, I do go into this in more detail and tell you how you can use this, but it's a really useful website for those that know what they want to do and also for those that have no idea what they want to do. Start researching your sector and start thinking about companies to contact. I said this last week and I'll say it again. Don't leave it till the last minute, because what will happen is you'll end up in a placement that you really don't want to do. Start thinking about it now. Start contacting organisations now, and then it's done. The amount of students that come to me so stressed in semester 2 that they've not done anything, it is unbelievable. Just get it sorted now. You'll get one of the best placements, and then it's done. You don't need to worry about it. You can concentrate on all your other assignments and your other modules, knowing that your placement is there and confirmed and waiting for you to start. And just make sure that you attend all of our lectures and sessions. Everything that we do run for you guys is beneficial. I know sometimes some of the content feels like it is tailored for maybe a younger audience or people that are not at university level, but everything is relevant and everything is designed to sort of support you and help you. So please do make sure that you attend all of the lectures that are delivered by us, and make use of any of the drop-in sessions and one-to-one appointments. We're here to support you and to help you pass the placement module. And if you do attend all of the sessions and use our help, there's absolutely no reason why you won't pass with flying colours. So prospects.ac.uk, you can literally type it into Google, or there is a nice little QR code there for you. But there are a number of different ways that you can use this website, but it is really useful for everybody. So if you have no idea what you want to do, go on and take the Career Planner quiz. Take it with a pinch of salt. It's a bit of fun. It'll ask you questions such as what you're interested in, what your strengths are, what your weaknesses are, what your experience is, what your skills are already, all of that sort of thing. And it'll come up with some ideas that they think, based on that, will be suitable for you and for your job role and for your career when you graduate. So if you've got no idea what you want to do, go ahead and take that quiz. The 2 other ways to use this website are, so you're all studying computer science. You can literally type in the search box at the top, computer science. It will bring you up a list of information. As an example, job options. So again, a really good place for you to start if you don't know what you want to do. It will give you all the different types of jobs that you can go into if you study computer science as a degree. So it will give you an idea of the sorts of placements to look for, and also give you an idea of the sorts of careers that you can go into. It will tell you about the sort of work experience that would be useful for you, having studied computer science. So again, a list of organisations and job titles that will help you when thinking and looking at types of placements. It will give you an example of typical employers. So there you go, a list of businesses to start contacting. Skills for your CV. So this is a really important one. These are the things that you need to be developing whilst you're on placement, so that when you graduate, you will have those skills on your CV. And also, when an organisation says to you in an interview, okay, you've got, for argument's sake, timekeeping as a skill on your CV, give me an example of when you showcased really good timekeeping or whatever. At least you know that you've done something in placement and you can confidently speak about it then. It gives you an idea of what you could do if you would prefer to go into further study rather than going straight into a career. And then it also tells you what computer science graduates do. So it gives you an example of what students that have studied this course have gone on to do. Another way to use this website is if you know exactly what it is you want to do when you graduate. So you can type the job title in there. So I've used web designer as an example. It will then give you a number of subheadings, so responsibilities, what you would be responsible for if you were to have a career as a web designer. It will tell you all about the salary, so what you could expect to start on as a graduate and where you could get if you carried on a career as a web designer. It tells you the sorts of qualifications that they'll be looking for, and then the skills. So again, focusing on those skills, it will tell you what somebody that's recruiting for a web designer role is looking for on your CV. So again, then you know what you need to be looking at doing on your placement. It goes into work experience, your career prospects, and then other related jobs and courses. So like I said, there's two ways you can use the website. If you're not sure what you want to do, or you are sure what you want to do, definitely go on here and have a look at the sorts of things that you should be developing, and have a look at the sorts of job roles and organisations that you can think about contacting. So the purpose of your placement is to develop those skills that you will need in order to secure the role when you graduate. So whilst you're on placement, you really need to be focusing on the skills that you can develop to help build and improve your CV and your employability skills. I have actually taken this from prospects.ac.uk. So these are some of the key skills that computer science graduates should have when they're graduating. So for example, you will notice that a lot of them are soft skills, so ability to work as a team, business skills and commercial awareness, attention to detail. These are all things that you could actually go out and develop on any sort of placement. But if you can adapt these and if you can develop these skills whilst in a computer science related placement, you're definitely going to be far more successful in sort of attaining that job for when you graduate. So these are just some of the skills that you could develop whilst you're on placement. So problem solving, negotiation, report writing, commercial awareness, communication. I don't want to teach us to suck eggs. It's quite obvious the sorts of things that you are going to be developing whilst on placement. But these are very much the sorts of skills that employers are looking for. So these are the things that you need to be thinking about getting on your CV and also developing so that when you are asked a question based on these skills, you can give them an answer confidently. So Simona mentioned soft skills when she was talking, and she mentioned that those are the skills that employers are looking for. So there is a difference between hard skills and soft skills. Your hard skills are your technical skills. So for example, your professional qualifications, so your degree, and then knowledge of specific systems. Your soft skills are your general characteristics and your traits. So time management, professionalism, communication. When you graduate, and I know Simona covered this as well, graduate employers are not looking for 10 years industry experience. They know that you're probably going to have very, very little, if any, experience. What they're looking for as a graduate are these soft skills. So these skills that you've developed throughout studying, throughout your extracurricular activities, throughout your placement, because they know that they will train you on those harder skills, and those harder skills are the ones that you'll develop in time on the job. It's these soft skills that they want to make sure that you have, so that they know you've got a good foundation for being a good employee. So thinking about time management, professionalism, thinking about all these things that you can develop whilst on placement, because this is what they will look for when you are graduating. So I'm not going to do this activity with you just because I have run through a couple of pages of different skills, but it was to just have a think about the different skills that you can develop whilst out on placement, but we have pretty much covered all of them. So we do ask you to think outside the box. So if you have an idea of the skills that you can develop, but if you're particularly interested in one area, by all means, please do go for it. Try and get that exact perfect placement. But what we're trying to say is don't be disheartened if you are not able to find the exact placement you want within the exact organisation you want. At the end of the day, it's a very competitive market. So if it's unlikely that you can find a position or a placement within a certain area or a certain organisation, just think outside the box and just keep going back and remembering it's not about where I do the placement or who I do it with. It's about the skills that I develop whilst I am there. That is what employers will be looking for. So before you start applying, you need to start thinking about what you want to do, where you want to do it, why you want to do it, and who you want to do it with. So to break that down, what do you want to do? So which areas of your degree interest you? Why did you choose to study computer science? What modules have you done that you really enjoyed? For example, web development, gaming, app development, all of that sort of thing. What is your interest? Have a think about that. Then where would you like to do it? So this is not only about location, but also it ties into who you want to do it with, so the type of organisation. But we do say that when you are applying to placements, just make sure you can get there. The amount of times students have accepted a placement and then on day one have rang me and said, I can't do it anymore because I can't get there. Make sure that you're doing all this research before you apply to any placements or contact any organisations. If it's going to take you 2 buses and a train to get there, you shouldn't be doing it. If for whatever reason a remote placement is going to work better for you, go for a remote placement. If you want to get more involved, get inside, get into an organisation, again, just make sure it's an organisation that you can get to. Why do you want to do it? So it's a really good thing to do is to start thinking about why you want to do it and what you want to gain from it. But also, when you're phoning employers or contacting employers, don't just think about what you want to gain from it. Don't just ring them and say, I need to complete a placement as part of my degree. If I don't complete a placement, I'm going to fail. Can you offer me a placement? They're going to say no. What you need to do is you need to be contacting employers and giving them a solution. This is what I'm studying. These are my skills. This is what my knowledge is. This is what I can help you with. Am I able to come and do that as a placement with you? So if you're providing them with a solution rather than a want and a need, you're more likely to be successful in that chosen organisation and that chosen placement. And who do you want to do it with? So do you want to work in a web development company or a gaming business? If you're interested in something specific but you don't really know what sort of organisations you can contact, just let me know, book a one-to-one, or come to one of my drop-in sessions. Before I started here, I was 6 years in recruitment and it was in Leeds, so I know a lot of businesses. I've got a lot of contacts within Leeds. So if there's anything specific that you would like to do, for example, I've got a really good contact at Sky Bet. So if there is something specific that you would like to do, or you don't know which organisations to contact, come and speak to me, because like I said, I have got some contacts in loads of different organisations within the Leeds area that I can hopefully help you to get in touch with. And sometimes it's not what you know, it's who you know. So you may be more successful going down that route if there is a specific business that you want to get in touch with. As you should be aware, before you go out on placement, you will need to complete a health and safety form. You'll be asked to think about things such as travel, location. Are you comfortable with where the organisation is? Do you feel confident getting to and from there? Do you feel safe? All that sort of thing. It's purely because we've got a duty of care whilst you are out on placement. So we do need to ask you to just obviously look into location, working conditions and things like that. The organisation will also receive a health and safety form. They'll be asked similar questions, but there'll be some more in detail, such as their health and safety policies and that sort of stuff. So we'll provide one to you, we'll provide one to the organisation. These need to be completed before you go out on placement. If you start a placement and you've not filled in the health and safety form, any hours that you've done in advance of completing the form will not be counted, because you have not gone there with authorisation from us, and you've not filled in the relevant documents to be there. So it is in your best interest to make sure that you fill in all the documents before you start your hours. If for whatever reason you've already started prior to this session, then it's slightly different because you've only just received this information now. So if you've already started a placement, just grab me at the end and we'll just have a chat about what you need to do in that instance. But anyone that's not yet started a placement, I can obviously see that you've attended today, so you now are all aware that you should not be starting a placement until you've filled in these forms. And it'll be an absolute waste of your time if you start something before doing this, because like I said, we will not be able to count those towards your hours because you were working without our permission. Yeah. This again has just been taken from prospects.ac.uk, but it is a list of typical roles that are related to computer science. So your first column is where the roles are directly linked to a computer science degree. And the second column is where a computer science degree would be useful, but it's not essential. So you can see on there app developer, games developer, web designer, IT consultant, software engineer, probably all the sorts of things that you know about already. And then where it would be useful, so IT help desk advisor, IT trainer, IT sales professional. So this just to give you a little bit of an idea of the sorts of roles that you could go into based off of the degree that you're studying. And it hopefully should give you a bit of an idea as well as to the sorts of placements that you could look at. So we kind of briefly went through this at the beginning, but it would be really useful to find out what you are all interested in doing. Not only so that you can obviously share ideas with each other for those that don't know what they want to do at all, but also part of my job role is to do business development, to advertise placements on my career, as you know. I do cover 5 different courses which have no relation to each other whatsoever. So it's really useful for me to understand what you're interested in, because there's no point me ringing around loads of gaming companies if not one person that's studying computer science is interested in gaming. So it'd be really interesting for me and really useful for me to find out sorts of companies that you want to go for and the sorts of placements that you want to do. So does anybody want to kick off?
Like I said, I'm interested in anything.
Yeah.
User experience, user interface, or analytics.
Okay. Perfect.
And just to add to this list,
Yeah.
maybe you are interested in software testing, because I received an email from one employer
Okay.
asking if the students are interested in website testing and app testing.
Yeah.
And this even will work better with Simona as well. If you know skills about how to test things, then you may actually just work for
I don't know if I'm
both
good
if you are
at it,
interested.
like, if I can learn it. Because like when we did website testing for last year, I don't know if my tests were good. But I can try it. Like I just need to get better. Do you know what I mean?
I asked it that to do the.
So it just goes to show, getting involved in the conversation and saying what you're interested in, we can really help you. Like the young man at the back has just said he's interested in AI, and our Auntie Sarah's going to go and speak to people that she knows. So if you are interested, get involved. Let us know what you're interested in. Auntie Sarah will have connections. I'll have connections. Speak to your other lecturers as well. Ali, Yasha, whoever. They all may know people within the industry that might be able to help you. So don't just sort of sit there and be quiet and worry about it. Get talking to your lecturers, come and speak to me, and hopefully we'll be able to find you something directly related to what you want to do. And if you feel like you don't have the skills for it, it may very well be roles such as like shadowing or at least working in that department. So nearly finished. What next? So these are the things that you need to start thinking about. So make sure that you're reviewing all of the resources available to you on Moodle. Has everybody been able to get onto the placements page on Moodle? Yeah, so I know that there were some issues last week. People were not able to access it. We've put a subheading now under help and support. So as soon as you log into Moodle, at the top page, it will say help and support. If you click that, it literally says placements. You don't need to enroll. You don't need an enrollment key. So you can literally access that straight away. There are things on there such as course-specific CV templates, all of the presentations. So if you do ever miss one, all of the recordings of the presentations will be on there. If you ever want to look back on something that I've gone through or anything like that, all of the information will be on Moodle. So if you're not already, make sure you are enrolled on that page. Attend all of the placement lectures, sessions, workshops and events. So if you don't need advice or one-to-one support, you don't need to attend those. But please do just make sure that you're attending all of the lectures. Some of the presentations, like I said, I might cover information on there that I've already covered, or that might be really basic to you that you already know, but there'll be times when we're discussing things. So anybody that's not here today, will have missed out on certain things, such as knowing what Simona can offer and listening to you guys ask questions and get the answers to those. So it's always better if you're attending all of the lectures. And it's also a chance for you to, I always leave time at the end of every single presentation to answer any questions. So I'll be here. If you don't, if the one-to-one session doesn't suit you or the drop-in doesn't suit you, I will be around after every single lecture to answer any questions you might have. Start researching your sector and the different job roles within it. Visit prospects and start thinking about the skills that you should be thinking about developing. Dig out your CV and update it, and attend the workshop if you need to. My next session will be all about CVs and applications. Start researching and contacting organisations. Keep in touch with your personal tutor and your placement officer. This is an important one. Make sure that you keep us up to date with what you're doing. Make sure that you're registering your attendance, and that you are following the pathway, and that you are keeping us up to date. I'm going to sound like Big Brother now, but we are watching you. Our new director, Emily, has come in. She's come in from the University of Leeds, and she was quite shocked with the level of engagement with students and placements. So she has recently recruited a new girl called Laura, and she works within our team. And essentially what Laura does is she checks attendance. So she will, once you've registered your attendance, she will go on to the eVision, check who attended the session. She will then also check that you've completed your pathway to say that you've attended the session. If you've not attended any of the sessions, she will drop you an email to say you weren't in attendance, and she'll send you a link to the video so that you can watch it. She can see if you have clicked the link, and she can see if you've watched the full video. So if you click on the link and literally watch 10 seconds of it, she'll know. And she will record all of this. And you are not allowed to go out on placement until you've attended every single session and until you've completed your pathway. So if you fill in a placement form to say I'm ready to go out on placement, she will then look to see if you've completed your pathway, and she'll look to see if you attended every session. Like I said, I know it sounds like Big Brother, but it is to keep you engaged, and it is for your benefit at the end of the day. You going out and completing a placement and developing these skills are not going to affect my life in the slightest. The only person it's going to benefit is you. So the only reason why we do this is to make sure that you're on track, you know what you're doing, and that you complete a successful placement. And please do look at the placements on My Career. I'm more than happy if you've got time at the end to show you what's currently being advertised on there. I can show you what's on there that might be suitable for you, and we can have a look and see if there's any that you're interested in applying to. Applying to something on My Career literally is the easiest thing you can do. I have done all the hard work for you. I have contacted those organisations and I have asked them to take one of our students. They have said yes. All you need to do is go on and apply for it. So for me, it's a no-brainer. Get on there, apply to a placement. You can have 2 live applications at any one time. The reason we do this is to make you really think about the 2 that you're going to apply to, rather than just clicking apply to every single one of them. And it also just makes it a little bit more manageable for all of us. At the end of the day, if you're applying via My Career, your CV generally is only going to go across with 2 other students. We try to only send 3 or 4 CVs for any one placement. So realistically, out of those 2 placements, you're probably going to get one of them. If you don't, we will edit it on the system, and then you can go on and apply to more. I am not going to play this video because I played it for you last week, but it is all about My Career and how to use My Career. It is embedded into 2 of the presentations, so if you do want to watch it, please feel free to just go onto Moodle and watch it on there. But it just goes through how to use My Career and what you can do on there. So the most important one for you guys right now probably is applying to placements. Your pathway is on there. You can apply for part-time jobs. You can apply for volunteering, all sorts of different things. If you're not doing anything outside of your studies, I'd strongly consider doing that as well. Anything that you can do to increase your employability, the better. So if you finish university with your degree, with some volunteering and with some placements, you're far more likely to be successful in your chosen career. So my understanding is that you're all enrolled on Moodle, but the QR code is there if you would like to sort of scan that and go onto there. But like I said, as soon as you log on to Moodle, it is under the help and support section. If you've not yet completed your placement allowance form, the link for the placement allowance form is there as well. You can also find the link to the placement allowance form under the placement allowance pathway. It's literally there. So you can log onto your pathway, click the link, fill in the form, and then click that you have submitted the placement allowance form. And that is it from me.